There's a lot of Palutena fan art out there, and that's a great thing. She's my favorite video game character of all time, but I noticed that a lot of people present her as beautiful and elegant and motherly, which makes me think that none of these people have ever played Kid Icarus Uprising. So, the thing about Kid Icarus' narrative that's the most interesting is the contrast between the setting and the tone. Pitt's optimistic perspective gives the game the feeling of a Saturday morning cartoon, but the setting is gruesomely cynical. It's full of genocide, hate, and no one really has a perfect claim to the moral high ground either. And the most benevolent figure of power in the game is only a beacon of light and hope because everyone around her is 10 times worse. Not to say Palutena is evil, but I wouldn't call her good either. She's capricious and petty, and while I'd say she has some legitimate moral ground to stand on, whenever it's called into question, her immediate response is to give out throwaway answers or change the topic. And she's always getting into these petty arguments and dick-measuring contests with the other gods, and while this doesn't make her any worse than them, it shows just how little she's actually above the villains of the story in terms of maturity. Palutena has deeply rooted insecurities as a result of everyone hating her, we'll get to that, and she copes with this by acting super full of herself, always posturing and talking down to others. And she constantly tries to impress Pitt with fake stories, including taking credit for someone else's work. And speaking of Pitt, most people seem to think of Pitt as her servant or surrogate child, but a more accurate way of summing up their relationship would be to say that Pitt is her only friend. Viridi has several commanders who she gets along with, and she shows a lot of care and respect for her forces, and hell, she even befriends Pitt. But all of the humans that Palutena fight for think she sucks at her job, and everyone with a speaking role in the game other than Pitt tolerates her at best. She's terrible with people because she's bossy and pretentious and judgmental and thinks she's funny when she isn't and looks down on everyone, but Pitt sees the world in her. And for all of her flaws, she treats Pitt really well. She's a massive shit, but she loves him and cares for him. She's always providing him with support. She guides him on his journey, and she is his best friend. And for all of her flaws, she is a huge positive influence on his life. And he's an amazing influence on hers, providing her companionship and reassuring her at her lowest points. She's not the perfect goddess Pitt claims she is. In fact, she's a goddamn loser, but she's enough. In spite of it all, she's everything he needs, and that's why they have one of the best dynamics I've ever seen in a video game, and it's why she's so goddamn lovable. She's a piece of shit, but she's Pitt's piece of shit, and he would move heaven and earth for her, and she would do the same for him. To be honest, I probably exaggerated her flaws a lot in this video. But that was to get across the point that Palutena is a fantastic character not because she's motherly or elegant or wise, but because she is none of those things. And I wouldn't have her any other way.
Poor Pitt. Don't you know that the definition of angel is errand spirit?
That's a lie. Right, Lady Palutena? I'm not your personal assistant.
I could use a coffee.
Sure thing. Cream and 2 sugars, right?